Hi everybody and welcome back. Thanks for clicking on part 2 of my little mini series I got going on. I'm not sure how many parts I'm gonna end up doing in this little series, but this picks up right where I left off and is primarily focused on deconstructing the current exhaust system that I had in the car. So mostly taking apart the mid-pipe and the catback exhaust system, and then doing some grinding, cleaning it off, and getting new pieces mocked up to where I'm wanting it. So stick around, I hope you enjoy, and if you could, hit like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you around. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to cut off these flanges for this connecting pipe from the cats to the rest of the exhaust system, and then I'm gonna start slowly dismantling it, going back and kind of mocking up where I'm wanting to put everything, and go from there, one piece at a time, one step at a time. So I'm gonna get the clamp set up, get my angle grinder, and get to it. Alright, so I'm just going to cut right on the inside of the welds here, since I'm not going to be using this flange for anything. So I kind of just need a clean piece of metal to work with. So I'm going to get to grinding. Well, I got both flanges cut off, so next thing I'm going to do is cut off the pipe at that point. That way I can kind of just readjust everything and go from there. But that is the plan for the next step at the moment. Alright, so now I got my H-pipe cut out. Whew! Alright, next thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the little X-pipe I have here from the rest of the system. So this one should just kind of shake and pull off. It's not clamped in very well. There we go. Alright, so I have the main components off for the start of my system. So what I think I'm going to try to do is clean up the edges and kind of mock the piping and go from there. Yeah, that's about all I can think of at the moment. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these to the bench grinder here and kind of just clean up the edges a little bit and try to get them a little more evened out. Because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fit up a couple of the V-band clamps I have and just kind of check the connection there and go from there. So I got all the edges pretty much cleaned up with all the grinding I needed to do. Then I slid the X-pipe back down onto my H-pipe here. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the I'm going to take these, go underneath the car, loosely mock them up to the header or to the cats, and then kind of just do a rough test fit on these as far as like location goes. And then I think I'm going to pull them back out and weld my V-band clamps welded onto here and to the end of this pipe. That way they are connected and seated properly. And so what that will allow me to do is whenever I need to do anything else underneath the car, I can quickly remove the clamp itself, and I can take apart the whole system a lot easier than trying to slide and adjust and like wiggle the whole system back and forth trying to get it all seated properly. At least that is what I got going on in my head at the moment, but we'll see how well that works out later on. So I'm under the car. I'm just gonna kind of loosely get these fitted up. Well, before I get everything all like actually fitted up, I'll probably clean off all of these bolts, and then I may put I may put some anti-seize on them, but I'm gonna at least take a wire brush to them and clean them off. So I got those roughly seated up. Alright, new plan. So I'm gonna take all the bolts out real quick, clean them up, and then I'm going to fit these back up and try to get them snug. That way I can kind of gauge better how everything else is going to fit in here, because with everything moving around it's going to make things a little difficult. So I think that's the next move here. Alright, so I'm back underneath after getting some of the ends on the bolts here cleaned off. So I'm gonna mock these up and tighten these down, and then try to fit up the X-pipe and kind of see how we're going from there. So I got those tightened up at least enough to not move around too much on me. Okay, there's just a little disparity between the length on the ends, so I may have to address that, but let's see about getting these kind of test fit. So with the V-bands, there's a male and a female end, and they mate up together here, and then they're held down by a clamp itself to ensure that there's a tight fit. But the nice thing with the clamp is that you can easily loosen it up and take the whole thing off, and you're able to drop the exhaust system a lot easier. So say if I have to ever do any transmission maintenance or do any like drive shaft maintenance or repairs or replacements or anything like that, being able to drop the exhaust system and give myself more clearance is going to be significantly helpful. So at least that's my thought process behind doing this. I think this is where the first hurdle is going to be, is making sure I get the angles right. That way everything kind of seats up together nicely. So, what do I want to do first? As of now, one side is slightly shorter than the other. And now they're side specific, so I can't switch them. So I think I'm just gonna have to do a little bit of grinding, or I'm gonna have to play around with some other stuff. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you like the content, be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below. And stay tuned for part 3, which should be coming out soon. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.